My name is Adam Feffer. I'm a professional engineer in North Carolina and California. I'm in the water process group at Black Veatch. I'm a water process engineer, and I'm also serving as the drinking water PFAS lead for Black Veatch. So I spend a lot of time right now looking through the latest research on PFAS, um, connecting with clients, help advise about paths forward and strategy for dealing with PFAS, and working on pre-treatment, pre-design for some upcoming projects. Black and Veatch is kind of a trusted utility partner. We have long-standing relationships with water utilities and have a breadth of treatment experience. Can understand some of the challenges that utilities are going to be facing, and have a really good perspective on how to integrate the engineering perspectives with the operations perspectives. We do have our own operators kind of division within the company where we're focusing on operational improvements, commissioning, and performing that work for utilities. You know, with the really tight time constraints on compliance for this, to go from monitoring and project definition all the way through to a project execution, commissioning, and then being online with high quality treated water can take many years. And so being able to simultaneously evaluate treatment options along with perhaps hydraulic modeling options or options for developing alternate source waters, that expertise is something we have. We also have an in-house construction arm, so we can accommodate alternative procurement and kind of design build or CM at risk type procurement models that can expedite the delivery of complex treatment projects to help systems be in compliance when this rule hits the books. The beginning is figuring out whether or not you have a problem. The initial PFAS assessments that were done with UCMR3 several years ago were done at a much higher detection limit. So there's a lot of utilities now that may or may not know whether or not they have a problem. Additionally, with a lot of the data that we've been seeing, there's a lot of cases where adjacent sources can have extremely different PFAS levels. So just because you have data from one source showing that there's not a problem, it doesn't mean that the next source over, and sometimes it's only a few hundred yards, can have very different PFAS loading or results. So I think that's the best place to start, understanding the problems that may exist. And from there, you have to begin that alternatives evaluation process of looking at what can we do about this. The three big options are to develop a new source, or to tie into an existing source from a neighboring utility and work out some kind of import or purchase agreement from a wholesaler, or you can install treatment. And there's also you can get into refinement of strategy and looking at source management options as well. But if you have a significant problem, those are the three main options. And if you start going down the treatment route, then there's a lot of analysis and evaluation that can be done to kind of point the direction for what that best treatment strategy is going to be. AWWA hired us to develop a cost model to do a rapid assessment of potential costs for the three best available technologies for treatment for PFAS, which is granular activated carbon, ion exchange media, and reverse osmosis / nanofiltration. And so we developed a tool that looks at PFAS levels in a source water and a design capacity, and can give a pretty detailed parametric cost output, roughly a class 5 estimate of what your cost would be to install treatment, as well as some footprint and identifying the major equipment components. A lot of the information from the national assessment that we did from our with the AWWA project is available from AWWA's website. We do have capability to leverage that tool to provide information to individual customers and play out different scenarios, and it can be very helpful in understanding the magnitude of cost that utilities are going to be facing. And once they have that cost data in hand, they can start having conversations with their board or local governance or city council or whoever the decision makers are, and trying to plot a way forward as far as funding and permissions and permitting, and kind of setting the stage for the execution of their strategy. Canon did assess what a 4 PPT MCL for PFOA and PFOS would have as far as national cost estimate. And based on the initial assumptions that we plugged into the model before the rule was passed, the total capital number was about $47 billion, which broke down to about $3.8 billion in annualized costs associated with the rule. It's still a work in progress, and we're still very confident with the scale and order of magnitude of costs that came out of that.